This video is how to use and manipulate your graphing calculator. So we're going to learn how to change the window when we graph. So these 5 keys up at the top of your calculator are your graphing keys. To get an X when you graph something, you use this key. That's to type the X. You would use that same key with this X squared key to get it to be X squared. Now when we start graphing linear equations, starting off first, we would use this y equals key. We would hit y equals, and then we would use this key to get the X to show up. One of our operations, let's just use plus, and then a number. We do want to graph it, but we want to make sure our window is correct. So if we hit this window key, the generic one is always going to be X min is going to say -10, because those are your negative x's on the x-axis. Because obviously when you graph, you have a graph on a coordinate plane. Y min are your negative y's. That's always going to default to -10. Y max is going to be your +10. And again, x max would be your +10. So you may have to adjust this window. Another way to graph to make sure you adjust it is just by hitting zoom. You can do one they always use is zoom 6 for standard. Zoom 0 is like zoom fit. So that will automatically adjust your graph to fit the window. Once you adjust either the window or the zoom, you would then hit graph, and then you would see your graph that you put in the y equals. So let's say we graphed the equation y equals x plus 5. We've adjusted this, so we've done the zoom, and we hit graph. So we're going to get a line. But lines are made up of ordered pairs. And ordered pairs are x, y. To see these ordered pairs in this equation, we can hit second, graph. That would give us a table of values. Now you may have to adjust your arrows to see all of them, but obviously the line goes on forever. You're probably only going to see first when it starts at 0. So when x is 0, y is probably going to say 5, because that means you plugged 0 in for x, and 0 plus 5 is 5. If I plug in 1, you would see 6 next to it when you hit second graph. So that's how you see your table of values, which are your ordered pairs. And the ordered pairs make this equation true. So if I plug in 2, then this would be a 7. If I plug in 3, the y will be an 8, because 3 plus 5 is 8. The last graphing feature is your trace button. This will, once you have a graph, say your graph looks like this, and you hit trace, the cursor is going to pop up, and then you can use your left and right arrow keys to move anywhere on the line you want. And it will tell you at the bottom of the screen what your x is and what your y is. Second trace will pull up more options. So one example, if we type in y equals 2x plus 12, this number will not show up on my graphing calculator because the default on your graph only goes up to 10. That's the y max. It goes down to -10. That's the y min. The x max goes out to 10, and the x min goes out to -10. So if you type this in, the y equals, you will first have to either go to your windows and change your y max, probably to about 20, just to be on the safe side. And then when you hit graph, you should be able to see the graph. We will work on this later as well, because different equations are going to require different settings in your windows or to press zoom and a different function.